Blake, author of the Ancient Illumination series and the Umbani Chronicles, and I'm joined once again by Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey everybody.
He's the creator of Eve of Insurrection and Eve of Reclamation. He's also the graphic artist and illustrator for the Ancient Illumination graphic novels, as well as the upcoming The Umbani Chronicles comics. And he did Arrow J. Knight's Jericho's Bane. Also joining us is Andrea Rose Washington.
Hello.
She's the writer of Adalithia, Elindo, and Almond Trees Magic. So if you like science fiction and fantasy stuff, the links to all of our stuff will be in the description of this episode. Today we're talking once again about Willow, episode 4, The Whispers of Nockmaar. This was a bunch of member berries for me, they drop these little berries to make you remember what happened in the previous thing. Like, hey, remember this? There's a little trail to follow. We picked up at the end of episode 3 where we find out Graydon is obviously going to be sick because he got stabbed by one of the crone's henchmen that was with Valentine. So they got to get to shelter because it looked like it was kind of storming kind of crazy too as they at the end of episode 3. So like we got to get inside somewhere. And I think Borman's like, I don't even know where this is. And Willow's like, I know where we are. And it ends up being the castle, as we were discussing last time, exactly where Beth Mortar had changed everybody into pigs and was going to perform the ritual that was going to, I guess, banish Laura Dannon as a baby to another realm. So they didn't want to kill her. And so they go right back to the scene of the crime, so to speak. Where everything went down, and Willow's kind of still living high on the hog on his previous reputation the whole time. What did you guys think?
Go first, Jordan.
You tried to make me go first. So this episode reminded me of the moment in Star Wars where Luke is like going into what he goes to he goes into Dagobah. He's
Dagobah,
like,
yeah.
And he's being hit with visions, and so this episode was a lot of, as you said, the member berries, and just like a lot of people dealing with like their past, being confronted by their past, which was kind of interesting. But at times I felt like this episode felt more like a horror. Like it felt more horrific. It was trying to be a horror show instead of like a comedy. And so it was kind of throwing me off. But it was okay. I'll say that. It was okay. I'll pass on Andrea.
So I'm going to preface this by saying I am determined to like this show.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Because I feel like I should. But this episode, it really felt like a drawn out, like I honestly feel like the first half of it, I didn't understand why this was an episode. It seemed like a lot of stuff was sort of drawn out that didn't need to be, but it was also, I guess, giving information that, like every show has a growth episode for the characters to get out of their head and to like push past things. And I guess this was that episode for some of them. We saw that with Kit trying to apologize but failing so because Alora remembered something. We see this with Jade, who's going through what she's going through. Not so much with Willow because he still is high and mighty, which it comes off as so arrogant than like wise, which I think that's what they're trying to do, but it's just like, Willow, please chill. But yeah, for the first half of this episode, I didn't understand why this was in the episode. Yeah. Except, and to Jordan's part about it being a horror, finding out like, so did you change everyone back from pigs? You ate pigs that day.
Yeah, that was
changed everyone back.
Yeah.
From a pig, and that part was like, okay, well that's disgusting. I mean, they do call humans a long pig, so
Yeah, this is like a Funhouse episode.
Yeah, Funhouse.
Everybody's getting turned around. Everybody except for, like, not everybody's having visions, but people are actually feeling the effects kind of being in the castle, except for, funnily enough, like Willow. Like he seems to be the only one initially that's kind of unaffected, where everybody else is like having visions, they're seeing stuff. Kit's just being a jerk for the sake of being a jerk, it seems, most of the time. But she's seeing the tapestries and stuff speak to her about her connection. And it seems like her grandmother's almost speaking directly to her, like, you have that blood in you. And Jade is getting twisted around, and stuff is messing with her. Boorman, he's just trying to rob the place. He finds a vault. He's got to pick.
That was the best part.
And homie, like, you see a corpse, not even like a corpse with flesh still on it, but a skeleton with a wine bottle. Like, come on, homie, you gonna pick that up and take a swig?
When you're Boorman, yeah.
It could have been two things. It could have been they were drinking themselves to death, or that wine killed them. Either way, that wine was a part of their death, whether it was poisoned or they were like, I'm going to drink myself to death because I've got nothing else.
So yeah, they're going through that, and for whatever reason, Willow and Elora are the only ones sitting there going to, I guess they're going to exorcise this sickness out of Graydon, while everybody else kind of watches for anyone to approach. And of course, Boorman's doing his thing. He's not really looking out for anything. He finds that vault. He immediately beelines for the vault after taking some wine. I don't know what Kit's supposed to be doing, but
she's just walking around trying to find that possum.
Yeah,
trying to find that jar of fermented
kidney.
Possum kidney.
What were you about to say, Andrea?
I said she has an attitude. That's what she's doing. She has an attitude.
Yeah. She just seems to be a jerk.
I want her to be possessed by her grandmother, to be honest with you. I want some weird.
Seems like she is. Damn near.
Like, yeah, go down the dark path, please. Please.
No, I don't want that for her.
Yes.
Because it's too predictable, I feel like, if she is. Because in most stories, with someone who's always the hard-headed one who always fights back, they get lured by the dark side and end up coming back because they realize the light side was right all along. I don't really want that storyline for her. I want her to stop just being a jerk without having to be traumatized to do so. Like, no one picks the life they're born into, and stop acting like, and let's be honest, of all the lives you could have been born into, being born a princess is not one of the worst ones you could have had.
No.
Like,
not at all.
Chill. Like, you have to be queen and rule over until the rightful heir comes and takes over. Like,
I wonder if that's part of it, though. Part of her resentment is Elora is like the true empress. So even if she has some status currently, it's only a matter of time before Elora's supposed to come into her full station and take over, basically, as the rightful ruler of the lands. But she just seems to be a jerk the whole time, and nobody's listening to each other. They're all distracted by the things going on within the castle. Awkwardly enough, I think Willow and Elora are the only two in this episode that have previously been to this location, because I don't remember seeing Elora be born in the castle in the movie.
she was in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, and she got taken out of the castle.
Yeah,
she got taken.
Yes, she was technically born there. That's why she said that line.
It was literally the shortest part of the movie was her birth.
Okay, that's why I
It was the first 2 minutes. The first 5 minutes of the movie.
Like,
I don't remember the mom talking back that much then before she got killed.
That I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like they were putting.
We got to talk about that. Was
Right.
that like Elora kind of traveling to the past and engaging with, like, that was interesting. That was interesting. I was like, oh, you watched your mom.
It's like the ghosts of the castles are speaking to the people.
Yeah,
because they're showing scenes of what previously happened there and how it's connected to each one of those people.
Yeah.
Slowly
and
losing their mind.
see her grandmother basically be turned to the dark side by the evil women that told her, and that she was going to end suffering and pain in the world by I guess either killing everybody or just taking over. So they couldn't make any choices. I guess that was the strategy. So everybody's kind of having a little time travel. What I know, Jade gets lost a couple times because she gets chased by something and then closes the. Oh, she gets chased by the general dude. That
guy, big guy with the skull
from the movie with the skull mask on.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Willow? I don't know if this is like, I don't know if he's being written this way, like, and they like on purpose, or if it's like they think he's coming across great. Because there's no way they can think he's coming across great, right? Like, there's no way.
No,
They're intentionally writing him as being washed. So intentional.
Because it just seems very forced. The way the actor is acting as Willow. Because the scene where Graydon was like spewing out all the different people. Like at one point he was doing Eric and someone like, and then other people, and then like Willow he stuck some rags or whatever in his mouth to shut him up. I was like, stop talking, but like you wanted him to talk beforehand, and like, did you really think that was slick at all? And then now you're yelling at Allura. First you said you needed her, that you were the only two people who could do this, and now I don't know. It's coming across as you don't know what you're doing. You're making this up as you go along, and it's killing me, honestly. Like in the movie, Willow was the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I want to save Allura and like really help people. And God, Max, was that the father's name? I can't remember. Is that Val Kilmer's character?
Val Kilmer's character.
Mag
Mortigan. He was like the one who was saying all these things, but really had nothing to back it up. And now in this show, it's like Willow's that person.
Yeah, he is, and he's also, you know how people know you for you. Like if you grew up with people that grew up around you, your family, your friends, and you become either a creator or you get a new business, and people are like, they know you for you. Like, don't try and tell me how to make no money. Don't try and tell me how to write no books or make no comic books. I knew you when you was in the Cub Scouts. Shut up. We don't want to hear none of that. So perhaps this is Willow because he's gotten away from the other Neroids that know him for him, so he can kind of, pump up his greatness around these Daikini that don't really know him. And for once, like you said, he was the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed one with the least amount of experience and really just wanted to help. Well, he kind of gets to throw his weight around a little bit because he's been to these places before they've been, and he has at least some of the answers as to where they're going and what they need to do. It's just, we all know that in the end, the execution of it, like, it's even the flashback when like, well, how are you going to beat me now? And then when Graydon's like, how did you beat Bathmorda? And he's the same thing. They have like a flashback. My friends come to help, and like right on time, they come busting through the door. So yeah, he is. He has no idea what he's doing exactly, and he knows he's not exactly powerful, even though he's got more in his toolkit than he had in the movie. Obviously, because we've seen at least a couple times he's come through. It's always almost like a little too late, and then at the same time, it's like, if you could have done that all along, what you've been holding back for. He tries to, Silas, he tries to tell him, like, I need to save my strength for when the big stuff comes. And he's like, when it gets worse, he's like, homie, it's bad now. We're getting mollywopped by these revenant zombie things right now. How bad do you think it's about to get?
It's wild, because I feel like every time he uses magic, he falls out. Every time. He's like, oh, here we go. He's a one-hitter quitter.
That's becoming his signature move, is it that he says a spell and he just falls out right after.
Oh my God.
And that's like falling into what Graydon, like when he was possessed, was like yelling, say what happened to your village, and he doesn't want to explain what happened to his village. It's like playing into the, do you really actually know what you're doing? Or are you just, oh yeah, they think I'm famous, so I'm just gonna play along. Like, what's that movie with Tim Allen? The Aliens, where like he was a TV show person, and he was like, it was like a spoof off of like Star Trek.
Yeah.
And actual
Star Quest? What was it?
No, Orville.
No, not Orville.
No. This came out in the 90s.
Oh, Galaxy
Quest? Galaxy Quest. There we go. It was a question.
That movie. Woo! But like how like the main character felt unimportant because what he did either no longer has value or like no one really cares. And it's like, oh, someone thinks I'm important again. I need to put on my show and like show them I'm who I say I am. And it's like, dude, can you chill? You're killing it. Not in a good way. You're not killing it in a good way. Just stop.
How did y'all feel about the castle kind of turning everybody against each other? Because Jade thought she was being chased, and then she tried to barricade the door, and somehow Kit walked straight through the area where, like where it looked like she had barricaded off, and then Borman thinks, because he couldn't find it in his pocket, that
Somebody
the piece of
robbed
the
me.
cure that he found, somebody stole it. Oh, I know y'all. I was only intimately close with when she's like, when were you intimately close with?
Yeah, that line was funny. I felt like that scene was. I feel the type of way about that scene just because like he was so ready to like y'all don't understand why I need this. Like he was very serious. Like, are you really about to kill these little kids? You're not about that life, Warren. I don't think you are. And then he quickly kind of like switches it, and I'm just like, this is taking me out. It's like taking out like I'm not believing these characters.
And yes, that is the line right there. I'm not sure I believe them. Like this acting, I really want this to be like a spoof that we didn't know was a spoof, because I cannot expect that someone is acting this way seriously, because it doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
But I am determined to like the show nevertheless.
Hilarious. How do I know it's you? You two totally have the hearts for each other.
Everyone
Say
knows
something
that.
only Borman would really know. What'd you say?
Everyone knows that. Just spend 5 minutes with them. And let's be honest, it's more Kit than Jade. Kit wants it more than Jade does.
Jade's like, I just want to be a knight.
Yes.
I don't really
Jade's
care.
like, look,
I'm just trying to be the greatest swordswoman out here.
Jade is a realist. She was like, look, my parents are dead. This man, I had to kill someone, and Kit's trying to make her feel better for it. And she's like, you're not going to understand what I'm going through until you have to go through it. Because let's be honest, you haven't gone through anything really tough in life, Kit. Yep. Not like Jade has. And she's lost everyone. And the one person who she loved and like thought as another parent, after we see that her parents have been killed, she had to kill them. Yeah. And all she wanted to do was be a knight. Like, no, you don't get what she's going through. Like, don't try and make her feel better. Let her feel what she's feeling. And Kit doesn't get it. And Jade knows that Kit doesn't get it. And Jade's like, this isn't going to work because you still live in the clouds and I'm on Earth.
She's trying to play a part too, because and she's talking that stuff like she's ready to get down because we can just kill him. That's why she's being such a jerk. She's ready. She's ready to lop Graydon's head off like right now. Let's not even wait for this ritual. I don't know. It's not going to work. Since it's not going to work, just let me do it now. I'll just go ahead and kill him now. And Boardman calls her out and like, you ain't finna do nothing. And then when they leave, it's kind of funny when they go to the parapets to kind of be lookout. Boardman and Jay discuss the fact, and Kit's like, I'm not Kit, but Jay's like, it's gonna be you or I. If it comes down to taking Graydon out, it's gonna have to be one of us because we both know she ain't got it. So she doesn't see. She obviously, like you said, she doesn't see it. She's not being real. But the other two know kind of what's going on until the castle starts messing with them. It was interesting to see, like I said, like in the very beginning through most of this episode, Willow seems not to be affected by the magic of the castle until like the very end. Like everybody's not paying attention. Kit's trying to tell Laura that the spell worked, but she gets distracted. Like, did you hear that? And she just gets up and walks off mid-sentence before she gets a chance to really tell her that, yo, your thing worked. You actually do have some power within you to kind of boost her confidence or whatever. That doesn't work. We go through all this rigmarole, and the one place that Willow tells them not to go. And after the ritual supposedly ends over, we can talk about this after we take a break, but this was the dumbest thing because Elora comes back. My man Graydon is tying his shirt back up. He's no longer in the little shackles.
It's free.
Like, everything's cool, but Willow is missing. And my boy Smooth talks her, hey, let's go into the high tower. Yeah, Willow, he ran up there. I think it jumped to him. He's sick now, but together we might be able to save him. And if you thought Willow was incompetent, you got to know something was wrong because Graydon is incompetence personified the whole time.
We'll talk about it on the other half.
Okay. We gotta go on a break, y'all.
Take a break. We'll be back in a second to get into the ending of this episode with Graydon and Willow in the high tower. Talk to you in a second. Welcome back to the second half of the Askari Cast. I'm Rod Van Blake, and I'm joined once again by Andrea Rose Washington.
What up?
And Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
And we are continuing our discussion on Willow Episode 4, streaming now on Disney+. The Whispers of Nockmaar. Once again, spoilers if you have not watched up until that point. In the first half, we led into the one thing that Willow told them not to do, or the place not to go, was the high tower at this castle. And Allura comes back. And yeah, that should have been the one thing that kind of tipped her off, is the amount of confidence and swag my boy Graydon had.
Great, where'd you get the swag from?
Weaselly, unconfident, just kind of stumbling over his words. I mean, even when he knows what he's talking about, and he said it himself that his father told him like he was worthless, basically, and incompetent. None of that shows when she comes back in. My boy is just like, yeah, he's sure of himself. Let's just go upstairs. Willow's up there.
First of all, did Willow take a bathroom break or something? Like,
no.
Did I miss something? I feel like I missed. Did this man like off screen disappear? I
think Willow is either he's knocked out somewhere, or I don't know. Because it's shown that at the end that whatever the possession is still in Graydon. So he lied, or they're both. Remember, because Valentine took over the other guards from the castle. Mm-hmm. So it could possess both of them currently.
So first of all, let's talk about how they're building a romance between Allura and Graydon.
Yeah, I see it now.
Very slowly, they're building a romance between them because she's on this quest to save her fiance. Because didn't Eric propose to her before he got kidnapped? Mm-hmm. So you're on a quest to save the man you love, with his sister, and there's a guy literally hitting on you, and we see the moments, honey. This is the only true acting I'm really seeing in this show, is them falling for each other.
Is it them or is it Graydon though?
It's neither right now.
It was him first.
You're like, but there's something there? Is that?
There's something there.
That's done. That's done though.
I don't want to believe that. I think it's Graydon.
Oh no, there's something.
No. Remember when they kind of touched each other during the ceremony, and Allura upstairs sees the flashback. So, and when at the end of the episode, when they ride off, and Graydon looks back at her smiling, and you could tell on Allura's face, she's like, "Nah, homie, I'm not. I know you're like you killed your brother, and there's something else that was in you before we even got here." Because you see that weird flashback where something.
Red is in his eyes. I was like, "Yo, what's going on?"
And that's where the scars on his chest are from. But they're going to write something where he's going to confront her about or either she's going to confront him about what she saw, or vice versa. He's going to talk to her about it, and that was a sickness. I didn't mean to do what I did. I loved my brother, and she's going to, because they're writing her as this innocent, malleable little girl who has never really stepped foot outside of the castle, which I will never forgive them for making the true ruler your servant, but whatever.
It's a muffin girl.
There's still going to be something there, because she's right now like, oh no, he killed his brother, but then he already mentioned that he was sick, that he owes his father something. It's going to come out, and she's going to forgive him, and she's going to feel something for him. I bet you they're going to kiss in some episode. I don't know which one, but it's going to happen. Messy. And they're going to make it like and when they finally save Eric, she's going to have to choose between the two of them.
Do you think it's going to be a consensual kiss, or do you think someone's just going to kiss the other while the other one's unresponsive? And it makes the other characters feel a certain way.
It's going to start with Graydon kissing her, and she may push him away and then give in. Because
Wow.
she's very sheltered. She really doesn't know anything outside of Eric. Yeah. She really doesn't. And I do think he's going to kiss her after they have a heart-to-heart or something. And she's going to like either push him away and then maybe walk away, and it's going to be awkward, and then like she's going to kiss him again.
Yeah, if that happens, I think it's going to be at the point where Eric or somebody else walks in just at that moment.
Eric gonna smack him up. Eric gonna smack up Grady. Get your hands, get your hands on my girl.
Yeah, Willow.
Eric is worse than Kit when they're fighting. I feel like Grady's probably
he's gonna like shake him. He's gonna push him. Get off her.
That might be like the worst fight because both of them can't fight and they just slap.
That'd be great. That'd be great to watch. I would enjoy watching that.
Yeah. So they get up there to the high tower, and finally Willow reappears
from nowhere.
Yeah. Hey, where's the one place I told you not to go?
Kids, I told you not to do that, and you did it anyway.
And my boy Graydon, with his zombie powers, has the force. He's lifting her up off, in midair, bringing her over to the little altar thing and talking smack and talking trash to Willow. And we're getting these flashbacks of what happened at the previous battle in the same castle. Proving that he has no powers. It was kind of a super retread. It was like, what? Well, I already watched this. Like, why am I watching?
I saw this movie. I personally thought, what's oh my god, Bob? What's her name? What's the queen's name? The evil queen witch, Bath Morda. I was hoping in this like beautiful scene that she would like potentially possess Graydon and like really take control of his body, but I was like, they're not getting me that. That was unrealistic.
I don't know what, like, part of me is like, I know they had to get rid of what was inside of him, but it seemed very anticlimactic when it came to, I guess it was just, unless this was all for Allura to actually come into her powers and Kit to tell her, you do have magic. You did build the little tree. You can do it. Unless this was like all for them to finally sort of come together. This episode was, and that even that scene of like showing everyone else the past of what happened, so that way everyone understands what Willow is trying to hide or whatever.
Yeah.
It still just sort of seemed like, really? This is what we're doing. This is like, what is that? Some TikTok viral video. Like, this is your man. You're gonna stand by him.
Stick beside him.
That's what we're doing. Okay. This is the choice for this episode. Understood. I won't talk about it.
Did anybody know what grabbed Willow? That like weird stone Kermit the Frog thing?
No, the little, I don't know
what was it?
I didn't know what that was. I laughed when back when they were still downstairs when Graydon brought back the epithet when he wanted water peck. I was like, oh. Start this again.
Gotta say this.
Was it a bit too contrived how Allura basically like inhaled the possession and then it came out of her back up into the sky?
It looked nice.
It looked nice, but I was like, really? That's what she do? She just like she's sucking the poison up out of him, and then it's going in her mouth, and then it's just like effervescently just flowing out of the top of her head, into the air. I was like, what is going on?
I guess she can't be possessed, so
she's unpossessable.
Like, I guess she purifies the dark magic.
I thought that was a cool little moment.
Because that was the only thing I could think of. Because I was like, why is it not like? I was like, why is it going through her like that? The only thing I think of, like, she can't be possessed and she can destroy dark magic, that's the only thing I can think of.
And the fact that she doesn't know, she knows like 2 spells now, and like if you could just do that by feel, I feel like she should be able to do other things by feel. Then, if you just got it like that, and it took her 2 weeks to learn the plant spell.
She was struggling with that. Now she's like exercising demons in one episode. Yeah, that moment felt like a kiss. I was like,
it did.
I was like, this feels like the kiss that happens in every like movie between two potential love interests. And I'm like, at this point, they should just went for it. They should just been like, instead of all this foolish soul sucking, Or if she actually sucked the poison out, it would have been interesting had it like, in like Exorcist movies where like the demon actually, there's certain movies where like the demon or the force actually just comes out of their mouth and it looks like grotesque and cool at the same time. She could have did that too.
But like she couldn't kiss him in that moment because she just
could.
saw that he killed his brother. By accident, not in his right mind, but like
which is messed up. Which is really messed up.
But she couldn't have kissed him in that moment.
Yeah, now she, like I said, it was almost a look of disgust on her face when he's like, everything's okay now. And he turns around and looks at her and she's giving him that side eye, like, nah, homie, I know what you done did now. And they're off to the races, continuing on their journey. And then at the end of the episode, we finally see Eric, goofy self, wake up. My boy is, and I don't know if that was really him speaking through Graydon downstairs to him. I'm in a cell somewhere because he does wake up in a cell. And like, wouldn't you be quiet when you initially wake up and you see the door open and you're trying to escape someone that's
smart?
Like, but
it's not smart.
He's a dumbass.
I mean, my boy is just getting up and hey, anybody around? Yeah, we about to come knock you on your head again and put you back down if you don't be quiet. But he's just unaware, walking around, yelling, has no clue where he is. I'm like, this
and
boy.
Like the first rule is if you're somewhere where you don't know, don't draw attention to yourself. You don't know what's there. You don't know if this is a test. You don't know what's going on. Keep your mouth shut. Stay out of sight. Keep low to the ground. Stay in the shadows.
Yeah.
This is how I know their mother did not prepare them well, because you have a princess who can't fight, who can never win a fight, and then you have a prince who doesn't know how to save himself or others. Like, he has no sense of self-preservation. Like, how? Excuse me, hi, yeah, I'm the prince of this foreign land. I'm lost. Oh, really? Well, we're going to kidnap you now.
Yeah, sounds like you might be worth something. Lock him over the head and collect the bounty. Hold him for ransom. So yeah, now I guess they're gonna continue their journey. I wish they would have kept Willow gone for a little longer, and then we would have had to wonder what happened to him, kind of. Like if he would have, like, say he did come back possessed, and then he becomes like a mid-level boss, shorter, before they get to and that would have been more interesting to me. Like, he disappeared and like, oh, you thought you had to deal with Graydon? Well, now you have to deal with Willow, who does have this intimate knowledge of these magics and stuff because he was there before, and the castle is now taking advantage of that fact.
That would have been that. He would have washed everybody. Willow possessed by a demon would have washed everybody. Wow.
I mean, he knows Kit's father for real. He had some zingers to throw at her to really throw her off balance.
See, I agree with Rod. I don't think power-wise, I don't think he would have washed them. With knowledge of like what's going on, yeah, because I still don't know if Willow truly has powers. Like,
he does. He has something.
He has powers, but he's not this great sorcerer.
What if it's that staff? Maybe it's just that the powers, like it's a talisman. That staff has powers, and he happens to be in possession of it.
Because like honestly, it's almost like the first movie where he was trying to turn the woman back, and it just kept going wrong and wrong and wrong. Like, he does have powers, but he's not as powerful as he wants to be or thinks he is or claims he is. So I feel like if he was possessed, he would have the knowledge to break those people down and make Kit cry and like, your father was worthless and all this and blah, 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 blah. And then Laura, I should have let you die. But power-wise, I don't think he could have won.
Yeah, we don't even know where, because I might have to go and look at the movie again. But the High Alduin didn't have that same staff in the first movie. This is the thing with the green glowy stuff that comes out when Willow. This looks new to me. That staff.
The weapon.
Yeah. Because it's not the wand, because that's still in the little wooden box waiting for Alora. When she becomes powerful enough to wield that wand, she's supposed to get the wand, but until she gets trained. So I'm like, where did this magical staff come from? Who did he snatch that from, or did he make it? Or I don't know. It's something new, I guess, they're giving us. Hopefully, we'll find out in the coming episodes. We'll see. Waiting to see these people gel. I don't know what episode that's going to happen at, but if
the last episode, the last one, they finally figure it out. Like, come on, y'all, this is ridiculous.
I give them like maybe 1 or 2 more episodes.
Okay.
I feel like next episode is going to be very tense because Alora's going to know what she knows and doesn't know how to bring it up or how to talk to Graydon about it. And there's going to be some tension about that. Tension about what was said, probably bringing up Borman's talking about, hey, look, you found something that you just tried to hide from us. Like, what's going on? So I don't see them getting together next episode, but I feel like maybe the episode after that, they'll start gelling a little bit more.
And they're probably going to be popping off at Willow now when he starts to get a little too uppity for him.
Better calm down. They start calling him Peck. Wouldn't that be crazy? Calm down, Peck. What you acting like?
Yeah, we don't need the discipline.
Acting like this.
Sit down. And your boy Silas ain't here to protect you.
What you gonna do now? I was like, oh no. Then we start rooting for Will. I feel bad. No. Don't mess with
At least Silas could really fight. He had a knife. He was stabbing people.
He was a beast. He was a beast. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Pour one out for my homie.
Yeah.
She had the trick.
It's a margarita.
So we got. Well, you said 8 episodes, right, for this? 8?
Yeah, I see only 8 episodes right now.
Okay. So we basically got 4 more to wrap this story up. So we're halfway there with this. I think they've run out of locations to reprise. So hopefully these next 4 episodes should be all new places for them to go to outside of the barrier where nobody's gone, and they've used up the 2 castles, I think, that they used from the movie. We still have yet to see the brownies. And I know at least one of them.
Yes. I want to see them. And I want them to be actually funny like they were in the movie and not like whatever the 2023 version of funny is.
What's there a new funny?
Yeah, I didn't know.
So like when they redo movies and like they do movies that could be considered problematic from like the 80s or 90s and they redo it and they try to make it funny, but it's not a good funny. I knew what I was getting into when I decided to watch Rush Hour. Don't give me this. Like I want them to be really funny, not
let them just be relaxed,
not careful jokes.
That raw humor. Raw
PC.
Yeah, I don't want PC funny. I want real funny.
Yeah.
And not like, okay, this is acceptable. Like, no, do it the way you would have. I want to laugh. This is for adults too.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, so we'll see where this goes. We've seen Eric, and now Eric is. I don't know if that's on purpose, whether he's walking about freely on purpose as like a bait for them to come get, or whether something happened they actually had to flee fast. But I think he was important enough if they thought they could get the blood of the grandmother out of him for some ritual, they wouldn't just leave him like, I guess we're done with this plan.
Yeah, wouldn't they kill him?
Yeah.
I'll say get the blood, just throw him, just kill him. There's no reason for that. It's probably, like you said, it's probably a bait thing. It's probably
it might be bait. I think
like they just want to see what he's gonna do, and they're probably like watching him from the shadows or something in that place with all the broken sculpture statues. That's a new place, I assume.
Immortal City, whatever the hell they're trying to get to.
Is that a new place?
I think so. I don't remember it.
I was like, this looks different.
But what if the blood has to be from a female?
Well, then they're luring. They'd be luring. Well, then if that was the case, why didn't they take Kit from the castle?
If they couldn't take Kit, but they could take Eric and know that means that someone was going to come and get them, it made them weaker.
I could see that.
It's easier to get you outside of the castle than trying to get what we need inside of it, and then transporting that blood all the way back with someone on your tail versus getting them to come all the way there or halfway there.
For that matter, why didn't Moms come out? Why not Sorsha?
She's the queen. She don't like to people no more.
I mean, you can't
But
say
it's her
it's old
son, though.
because Willow.
I know.
This doesn't make sense.
I mean, because Willow's old technically. They're around the same. They were from the same era. So if Willow went on the mission, she should be able to go on the mission.
Wow.
I feel like if she, I feel like she doesn't have anyone she trusts to stay in charge if she's gone. Because we already see how she talked to Kit. We already saw how she cared about how she talked about Eric. I don't think she has anyone to take charge if she's not there. And you don't want to leave, like, she couldn't, like, if she went, her daughter had to stay. Like, they both couldn't leave the castle at the same time. And I definitely don't think she trusted her daughter to stay in the castle in charge without her.
No, she was ready. She was ready to bounce the night Eric got snatched. She was about to run away.
Everybody run.
That is crazy. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys again for chatting it up about these things, and we will be back next week talking about episode 5. Don't forget to check out Trek and Beyond,
a Star Trek podcast. Discover Discovery with us.
There you go. They're back on Discovery. And we'll have a link in the description. You can follow us on Anchor for the audio of this. Be distributed to everywhere that podcasts are broadcast. So Google Play, Apple, Spotify, all them places. And we will talk to you all next week.
Peace.